Hello and welcome to Hearts of Iron 4, the Old World Blues. This is a mega Fallout mod for Hearts of Iron 4, which is a fantastic mod collection. Well, singular mod that's been being worked on for years alongside of Hearts of Iron 4. For those of you who do not know Hearts of Iron 4, it is a Paradox published, Paradox developed grand strategy game that normally takes place in World War II. But I have been learning how to play it, still learning somewhat how to play it. And I found that the Fallout mod was a really good spot for beginners. It's a much more simplified version. It's much quicker to the action. It is, to me, a little bit more interesting than the standard World War II scenario. It's got lots of different places to play, etc. It's really good. We're going to be starting off a new campaign today. We're going to be learning a little bit as we go. I'm going to try to explain some of the concepts as we go, especially any questions from chat, teaching people how to play, and hopefully doing okay. We'll see. It might take us a couple of tries, but you never know. We are going to play in the newly added Canadian prairies, and we are going to be playing as Strath Commune, which is basically the Communist Party in Canada, or the Chinese invasion of Canada. In the Fallout universe, Canada has become the 51st state, a little too on the nose, given all the recent news. But China is in a constant war with America, and they have an invasion, and the Strath Commune is sort of part of that. So we're going to be playing as Amy Therese. Some call her a snake, others call her an opportunist, but for many, she's the face of the Canadian People's Front, the true heir to its movement, a fervent proponent of Jian King thought. May seeks to unite all of Canada in a rational worker state. Of course, a worker state will still need someone to tell the workers what to do. We get bonuses to war support, recruitable population, division defense. One of the big things is that we have a lot of manpower, which is something that's quite rare in this mod. But we have problems. Our armies aren't very good, and our country is fairly unstable. We produce a lot of things. Our factory speed is quite good, but our production efficiency is very bad. And we also have the 5-year plan and the 4-year plan later down the line. And we get 3 different kind of paths that we can take. We can play as a free state, where we end up becoming completely separate from Canada, America, or China. We can play as the Green Revolution, which is sort of a military, elitist, intelligent takeover, where the intellectuals run the country and the army sort of takes over. Or we can play as the communist version, this is the path we're actually going to end up trying to take, which is that we fold back in to Big Sister, aka China, and get our benefits from that. It doesn't have the problematic World War II issues to navigate. No, it has all the problematic Fallout issues to navigate instead, which are equally kind of hilarious. So Old World Blues is quite a big map. It all takes place, obviously, in North America. They are slowly expanding it eastward. I believe their next expansion is taking place around like Florida and the Caribbean, and kind of snaking their way up the coast. We are playing, of course, in the north, so we're going to be playing as Strath Commune here. We are surrounded by Big Grass, who is a Robco robo-brain company. The Lloyd's Ministry, which is a group of intellectuals led by the Pilgrim, the Patriarch, the Father of the Nation. And the Pioneer Company, which is, I think, just basically like a military, local people's military. We are going to play on Iron Man mode because, in my opinion, that's the only way to play Paradox games. And if we lose, well, the thing is when you lose, you kind of have to go back to the beginning, because probably what set you off in losing was many years ago. We're going to play on the average difficulty because everything is quite hard enough. And I'm going to just leave historical AI focuses on because I don't know that it matters for this mod. There's only so many paths and focus trees that you can take, and there's only so many sort of ways you can get war goals on different countries. So it makes sense. Chacal, thank you for 4 months.
Remember to occasionally take a sip from your trusty Strath Commune Workers Victory Flask.
So we do have the wonderful music player where we're pulling songs from the Mojave Music Radio, the Mysterious Broadcast, Radio New Vegas, and Conelrad 640 1240. I'm hoping none of this gets copyright struck. It's all very old music, so it shouldn't really. So, when you start a game, there's a lot going on, especially right at the top. There's a few things you want to look at sort of right away to understand how your country works. One is going into the research tab, and in Old World Blues, one thing that sets it apart is that countries have different access to different technologies. Some people don't have access to advanced technologies if you're playing as a tribal state. If you're playing as something like the Brotherhood of Steel, you probably have more advanced technology. We're sort of right in the middle, where we have access to all the intermediate techs, but not the sophisticated late game techs. But we can unlock some through the focus trees. For example, we're going to be able to unlock sophisticated infantry and I believe sophisticated vehicles. So we're going to be able to have nice access to sort of end game tanks. The other big thing you got to look at right away is your national focus tree. Now this is, for Strath Commune, quite big, but we don't go all the way through it. There's various paths in here for the Free People's Front, for the Intellectual Front, for a rebellion-based group, and then this is kind of the communist tree that we're going to be taking, which gives us access to different things throughout it. To get there, we do have to go through the early tree, though, this is sort of, every tree starts with a generalized tree before breaking apart. It tells a couple of the stories of what's going on here. Since the days of 1812, Canada was the first victim of American imperialism, but we prevailed then and we will prevail still. When we complete this, we will get the first Victims of the Empire event. Now, other things we need to look at are our armies. We have access to Revolutionary Vanguard and Rifle Company. The Revolutionary Vanguard are a group of infantry with anti-tank rifles, and the rifle companies are just basically a smaller group of infantry, not quite as big. Same thing, anti-tank rifles that they have on hand, but that's sort of all of our army that we have.
Sir.
So we're going to start by just tossing them.
Hello, sir.
In one big army.
Hey there.
Grabbing them a leader. We have Cote, Clark, Boucher, and Colonel Thau as our commanding officer. So we've got a charismatic, agile guy with local leader and gunslinger, good for militias and law keepers. So this guy is probably going to be running sort of our reserve army. Fill of militia. Law keepers are mostly just used for garrisoning locations, but this guy is going to be a bit more defensive, a bit more garbage units. We have an enduring, intelligent life giver who's good at defending. He's good at planning. Not so great on supply, so he could kind of be like our regular infantry battalions. Decent attack. And then we have this guy who's really good at skill, really good at supply, but sort of neutral in everything else. He's perceptive. He's lucky. He's got awareness, reconnaissance, and chance to get wounded in combat, as well as mysterious stranger, so bonuses to infantry attack, infantry defense, and ghouls, which I don't think we have access to. There are, of course, Fallout universe, so there's ghouls, there's super mutants, power armor, there's all sorts of various sort of divisions that we can have built up over time. So I'm going to say probably let's take these guys who are slightly better. We're going to put them in a separate army. And I'm going to give them to this sort of guy. This is going to be like our good breakthrough army. And then these general sort of trash dudes, I'm going to give to this. I'm actually going to give these guys to Lieutenant Clerk, and I'm going to try to create a new army pretty much full of militia, I think, for this dude. The one thing I do know about Strath Commune is that very early on, they get into a massive war against all people surrounding them on sort of all sides.
What's up?
So we got to be aware and prepared for that sort of thing. Colonel Thal will be the commanding officer, so she's going to lead the whole command group. She gets the bonuses to breakthrough, entrenchment, as well as just attack and experience gain. She actually has pretty good attack as well. In general, our characters seem to have some like pretty decent starting stats here. So first things first.
Hey.
Let's probably toss some people on a line here. Up against Lloyd's Ministry, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 provinces that are going to need to be guarded. Oh, less, because this is impassable wasteland. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Hello,
6,
sir.
7, 8, 9. Which actually means I might pull a few people out of this.
What's up?
So there's 6 other guys here. We're going to pull these into the other division. Conflict there is honestly one of the most fun, but also can be pretty grindy. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to play these guys, is because they do have a very busy early game. When the war breaks out, it's a bit crazy. So I want this sort of to be like militia reserves. He's not right now, but this is going to be called, what are these guys called? Rifle companies?
Sir.
So we'll just call that army the Riflemen. And these guys are going to be the Vanguard. Slightly bigger. Do need some upgrades. I'm going to try to pump out militia to probably cover this line. And then I think my plan is probably to go for Lloyd's Ministry first. So I'm just going to draw a little line here for my Vanguard, my 4 Vanguards, who are going to sort of push in along this riverbank towards Lloyd Minister when we get the chance. Seen the AI get bogged down a lot, but when I'm not playing in that area, I've seen them grow really, really big. I've seen them lose. I've mostly, so in my practice runs in trying to learn this mod, I've been playing a lot as the Gateway, which is a weird robot raider nation. And I've lost it many times trying to learn how to play. But that's, you know, that's half the fun. We'll get some research started. Always kind of going for research speed first. Ohm's Law. We already have pretty much all the infantry tech, which is nice. We start with access to fire teams and advanced anti-tank. We're way ahead of time there. Everything else there is locked up. We have bicycles. We have basic caravan equipment. That's really nice. We have nothing in the way of robots, but I'm going to be real. I don't think we're going to use robots in this run. We've started on the conventional warfare tree. That's great. That's pretty much what I was planning to do anyway. We will just keep advancing in that tree. We have no air technology. We are going to probably want some air stuff. I'm sort of thinking about going blimps. There are different versions of stuff that you can build in this. I don't know, because we're playing as communist, if we can get access to the Chinese fighters, the unique Chinese fighters. I have no idea how to unlock these guys. But I'm kind of a sucker for blimps because I think they're just really funny. We will get access to sophisticated infantry. So like advanced energy weapons or probably elite weaponry. We'll probably go ballistic weapons. I don't believe we get advanced power armor. And we should get access to advanced tanks. So we will want to go down motorization and get Great War tanks. Make our way towards that later on. We could pick up some construction bonuses here and probably, I'm going to say agriculture. Because we do got a lot of bodies to feed. So we got a handful of free civilian factories. We actually start with 7 factories. No, 13 factories. 7 being used for consumer goods. How many arms workshops do we have? 7. Okay. That's not too bad. So we have some basic weaponry being built, some anti-tank rifles, some support equipment, and some automatic squads, which are great for defense. Feed the people bread, land, and big sister. I think we're going to need some early arms workshops based on the fact that we're going to be fighting so much. So I'm going to go 2 arms workshops, then 2 civilian workshops. And then we'll play it out a little bit from there. What do we have? Okay, we have the People's Militia. This is our kind of militia squad. We have basic rifle companies. The Revolutionary Vanguard, which is considered an elite unit. We do have spec ops companies. And we do have power armor companies. As well as early motorized. I think it's probably going to be a while till we start pumping out power armor. Honestly, I suspect we're going to have to just focus on the basics here for a while. We can buy additional weapons from the marketplace, depending on if we make enough caps. Right now, we have a very small stockpile. We have 1,000 infantry. We have 1 extra firearm, 1 extra support equipment. None of this is being made at the craziest pace. Pretty much everybody has anti-tank weaponry equipped. So I think we're probably just going to grab an extra set of that as well. And then I think we're going to train up a bunch of militia just to sort of slow down any advances we get hit with. Probably build those over in Spruce Grove. And at least 1 additional rifle company. These guys have fire teams and anti-tank. So the Revolutionary Vanguard is a bit better at defending. Quite a bit better at defending right now. But they're also a lot better at attack. They're just better at everything. They got more troops. They got more weapons. Having some spec ops would be good. But I'm also realizing we're actually not even making spec ops gear, so we're going to have to just leave those. I think we're just going to go with basic units to start. It feels like the right choice for pretty much China. We are making support equipment that we're not using. So I do have a quick question about that. We're like a year away from getting medical chems. And a year away from dynamite. That's okay. We can build up, and that way we can kind of get chems out to our people as time goes on. We're going to turn off a bunch of this stuff. Disable backstory decisions. That's, I think, fine. This we don't need. Reunify the Canadian People's Front. Owns all former land of the Canadian People's Front. South Redmond, North Redmond, Frigid Bush, and 7 others. Most of the stuff we don't need to turn on. Strathcombe, Big Grass, Lloyd's Ministry, and the Pioneer Company are still fighting the Great War in many ways, but recent tensions threaten to turn them on again, off again conflicts into a full-blown war. If not completed within 250 days, Strathcommune, Pioneer, Lloyd's Ministry, and Big Grass gets the event. They shall not grow old. 250 days. So we have about a year until the war kicks off. So let's get into trouble.
Hello?
I do probably want to plan some attacks. That didn't feel like that worked. Okay. I guess it did. The first victims of the empire. The Mexicans, the Filipinos, the Indians all suffered on the American yoke, but never forget it was Canada who suffered first. When they burned our capital in 1812, we tried to be friends, serving as comrades in the world wars, but in the 21st century, their demands for our oil proved too much. To protect our security, they occupied our nation, celebrating it into a great victory for democracy. They used power armor and energy weapons on civilians, stripped mined our resources, and used us to augment their war machine. The bourgeois collaborated, convincing the Americans were too strong to oppose, and so resistance fell to the anti-imperialist progressiveness of the Canadian People's Front. The Yukon Five, the Quebecois, Cans, and the Saskatchewan Six were but some of the cells that struck blows for the great casual army by the Chinese. Our guerrillas were winning the war before the bombs fell. One building slot in an arms workshop or one building slot in a civvy workshop. We're going to go for the arms workshop. It's a little too real. Just a little bit.
Hello, sir.
I'm trying to wonder whether or not we want to push in with these basic companies as well. My idea here is basically push the Vanguard over and then down. Encircle a huge army here and then make a push on Lloydminster.
Hello?
So it would sort of go in those three steps. How well that'd work, it's a bit hard to say. But it's going to be the plan. When the bombs fell, the Canadian People Front kept the nation united, and we almost prevailed when we were this close to greatness. Vermilion rose up. The traitors almost doomed Canada. So we have North Redmond and South Redmond as sort of our capital. And then just a handful of smaller towns all around. We do have a great river here that we can sort of fall back to if we get pushed by Pioneer Company. And there is a decent river here we can sort of defend along. The world ended in 2077, but the Canadian people did not. American occupiers tried to carve out warlord fiefdoms or flee home, while Canadian counter-revolutionaries advocated for unity. In the years that followed, the Canadian People's Front united much of the North. For a brief period, our mounted police crossed the eastern stretch towards Manitoba. The dream of reunification was alive and well. The masses would have been liberated from their yoke. Perhaps, in time, we could have even saved the Americans. But it was not to be. The death of our beloved Chairman Gironde allowed cracks to form in our foundations. Division and deviation of thought started to crop up, and the great ideals passed down from Chairman Jiang began to grow. Moderates and disillusional fools alike started to seek ways to piece out the commune. However, we gained a champion as their roses began to take root. Political power or base war support? We'll grab some early political power, because there's always good stuff you can do with that. Such as add economic advisors or cultural advisors or military advisors or terrorists or companies of all kinds. What do we have access to? Caravan traders, economic experts, captain of industry, arms lobbyist, Allow us to construct military factories faster. That's not a terrible idea. Allow us to build like outposts and forts. Naval bases, supply hubs. Defense. Soft attack. Soft attack. Honestly, I feel like saving up for this military construction speed guy might be the way to go. Political power gain is always really, really useful, especially early on. A flat amount is probably more valuable for us right now. George Foster, person of the community. War support, monthly population, recruitable population. That's also going to be really useful down the road. Increasing the army wages is valuable. I have no idea what our economy is like. We get 41 bottle caps per month. This is a special thing in Old World Blues. We do have a trade node in North Redmond. So we are going to have pretty consistent money. We may be weaker than we once were, but we are not broken. Say it with us. March on to victory. Our chairwoman, our leader, our sister. The revolution is not yet lost. So what are we going to spend that on? I think we're gonna save that up and buy that that guy who helps us build a little bit faster. We definitely need some more people. We can invest in small businesses. This will allow us to construct a little bit faster with some of our caps. We're going to spend that money for sure. We could also begin a scavenging program. It temporarily takes up 2 of our factories, but not for an extremely long amount of time. I think it's only like 60 days. For 90 days, 3 months. I'm going to do that. Scavenging is one of the other unique things to Old World Blues, where you can send out squads of scavengers to explore the wasteland, and it's extremely valuable.
Hello.
We also need to... Oh, everybody in our army is already trained. That's fantastic. Not sure if Nerd's bringing people here, but raids. Fallout-inspired UI, Canadian-looking names. Is it this the post-apocalyptic Canada being invaded by the U.S. enclave? We are the communist pocket of Canada that still exists. And we are hoping to be able to push back all of the invaders. I tell you what, we're missing 3 spots in the line over here. And we have a little bit extra because of these guys.
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
I'm going to stretch that front line out a little bit, and then I'm just going to say this guy, and this guy can move over here. Amy Therese was no coward. She was no soldier, but she stood at the front lines against the American remnants. She pursued revolutionary justice against the farmers who opposed collectivization, and she could inspire. She would labor alongside any worker, any miner, any gunsmith. Truly, it would be tougher, my child, to tell you what Amy could not do. Under the chairwoman, life had become more joyous. The people labor gloriously, alert for any wreckers and traitors, but still there is dissent. Some question her motives and argue for a peaceful approach with the dissenters. There is a word for these people. Wreckers. You aren't a wrecker, are you? Strath Commune spent the last 10 years pursuing a rapid program of crash industrialization and collectivization, the same approach that led to the Soviet Union to superpower status before the betrayal of the new Bukharites of the 2020s. Under the chairwoman, Canada will be united. Canada will be free. And if there are those who question the camps, the police, and the conscription, they merely need a lesson in revolutionary values. Infantry equipment or 2 infrastructure in North Redmond and Redwater. I'm going to take the infrastructure because infrastructure allows you to build faster. Now, so we're through sort of the early stuff and we can start picking what do we need. Base stability and an off-map arms workshop or a handful of early bottle caps. Gulag mines, which add foundries and civilian workshops to 2 cities. Industrial reform, which adds more civilian workshops. And roads to Redmond, which adds infrastructure. I guess like what's a little bit further down. This one we can't do until the Civil War has begun. Political power stability, civ workshops. This removes the 5-year plan. But I don't think that's a good idea. I feel like the 5-year plan is very useful for us. At least right now. I think we're going to take the Gulag mines. If our prisoners are to sit in their cells staring at the ceiling for their crimes against the commune, then we've done a poor job. We must send these capitalists and dissidents to the mine to gather resources. Got to protect our public healthcare system. It seems friendly. Listen, we are going to basically become 1984. That's how this is going to work. We are going to become a brutal
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
Brutal communist utopia. These guys have fire teams, the Revolutionary Vanguard. The rifle companies do not, but they do have anti-tank rifles. Oh, I see. It's just really hidden. The haze of American hatred. All right, there's our first 100 points. So we can pick up the arms lobbyists to create early arms factories, which should help. I hope we have a Ministry of Peace and a Ministry of Truth. Cannot be a utopia without them. We get something similar to that for sure. You'll embrace our utopian ideas whether you like it or not. This guy just has robots over here. I actually originally thought about playing him, but he doesn't really have much of a focus tree. But he literally turns all of his humans into robo-brains. It's a very fun idea for a faction. I'd love to play as a robo-focus group. We must increase our dialectical materialism. Oh, we're gonna increase everything. Profits are gonna go way up for everybody. We'll farm the razor grain. This guy's got tanks? No, that's not good. Yikes. These guys got ghouls and soldiers. These guys seem to just have a robot. Singular. I don't know if he's got more people lined up against the pass keepers here. All right, the Gulag mines are unlocked. I want to say let's grab this off-map arms workshop. You know what? Well, I'm going to start with the civilian. These extra 2 civilian workshops. Because if we're getting in a bunch of that extra stuff, honestly, we could probably just double down on arms workshops. And we're better off building them all in North Redmond because we have higher infrastructure there. So they're going to build a lot faster. Okay, this is nice. They've actually got nobody guarding this province. Or this province. I hope these guys are going to be enough to hold here. It's for sure going to be a little bit of chaos. I might actually have these guys like move in and try to encircle this group. We've got advances to agriculture. I suppose combat language for the increased reinforcement rate will help us out a little bit. Always enjoy downloading mods to see their focus trees. Some of the GUI designers are really interesting. Honestly, the focus trees for this mod are generally pretty incredible. There's a lot of variations. And there's a lot of great stuff. There's so many factions, and they mostly have unique research trees. Focus trees. So this is our commanding officer. She applies everything to all the armies underneath her. She is strong. She's rooted. And she also has a savage leader giving us breakthrough. She's intelligent. We are mostly infantry, so I feel like giving her Mysterious Stranger for the +10 infantry attack and defense is a pretty safe bet. Does anybody else have levels? Oh, they all have available traits they can grab. You don't. Right, because you have Gunslinger and Local Leader.
What's up?
You have Mysterious Stranger and Awareness. Okay, so it's just this guy who's got Life Giver. Right now, he's like also infantry.
Hello, sir.
Your infantry and reconnaissance.
What's up?
I'm trying to think of like what's the difference between these guys? How do I want to build them? Do I want to give you bonuses to fire teams? You don't have fire teams equipped right now. But you are going to be the rifleman, so it's possible. Mysterious Stranger? No, Mysterious Comrade. All things will be comrades. There's a lot of troops built up on this border. You know, I've got the supplies that we could be recruiting more people. And we have the manpower for it. Is that an absurd amount? Okay, now it's an absurd amount. So we can fit another 4 guys in there.
Hey there.
So we picked up a couple of the People's Militia.
Sir.
They're going to go into this guy's squad, but I'm going to have them form a front line over here. Because their job is just going to be trying to hold back the robots. I'm a little bit nervous on trying to guard sort of 3 sides at the same time. I wonder whether or not I should just leave one side pretty much empty. We'll advance our construction a little bit more. There are more robots starting to show up on this line. Again, there and there. I might have just not been able to see them before, so... Good luck, militia. We've picked up industrial reform, giving us 2 more civvy workshops. Let's grab that off-base arms workshop now. How close are we on this? 168 days till the war breaks out. Ooh, atomic cocktail. I guess one thing I could do. That would have been smart to do really early on. I could have started like an early war goal against them and just invaded them before the war broke out. Darius, how we doing? Really want to check this one out from the start? More reason to support the YouTube algorithm. Don't worry, we're not very far. We've just kind of gotten ourselves set up a little bit. And we are spreading out our forces, trying to prepare for the big war. There is our advancement in computers. We're still pretty ahead of time in most of these techs. I will want air, but not until sort of later on. So let's just get some improvised tools here, some tool production. The HM Munitions Company is requesting a loan, but we don't have enough caps, unfortunately. That's really bad. That's really bad. They're the guys who you can buy weapons from, but they'll only sell you weapons if you have a positive relationship. That random event actually could cost us the early campaign. I hope not. But it's possible. I'm wondering if I don't just put more stuff on basic weaponry then, instead of anti-tanks. Because we're definitely going to need it. Lots of small wars breaking out around the world. Hope you're well. Hello, Chan. Hope all's well. It's been a very good vibe here this morning. Getting ready for the big war. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How do I not have enough manpower to train more divisions than this? Amy Treese has decided to construct a reclamation authority for scavenging. So our scavenger teams are ready to boogie. I don't have enough bicycles, but you tell you what, we're going to spend 25,000 caps to buy some bicycles so we can scavenge with vehicles. You can send out manual prospectors, but it's much more likely to succeed if you have vehicles. You can also scavenge with power armor, but that's even trickier. Who do we pick? Looks like Canada. Yeah, so we are up in Canada. We are playing as a communist nation, Strath Commune, in Canada. Trying to create the glorious Big Sisters Canada. Big Sisters of Canada. Government issued compliance. Yeah, let's keep going down this tree. A new constitution. If the commune is to continue achieving its goal of defeating greed and capitalism, then we must begin drafting a new constitution. If we reform some of our more antiquated laws, I'm certain the people would have further confidence in the concrete foundation that is our nation. It's April, so you can see the winter is starting to kind of calm down, and we're actually getting to see a bit of the grass around. Everything's not just covered in basically nuclear fallout. These guys are all on that line.
Sir?
I'm having some debate on where I want to throw
Sir?
these extra rifle companies. And I guess holding them on that line could be okay. I'm still this like debate whether or not we should just hard focus on one side. What kind of goods are we producing? We've got a surplus of, well, basically everything right now.
In event of atomic bombing or some other catastrophe, here's something important to remember.
We use scrap metal and water.
Including your own. Do not use the telephone. Leave the line open for official rescue and relief. This is your part in civil defense.
Which we don't have a huge surplus on, but we do have some.
Leave the line clear for safety of your own life and the lives of others.
Honestly, I'm low-key thinking about just like starting chems early. We start fairly advanced. It feels like on all the trees. I guess we could just take recycling. It's not really a bad idea. Or access to water. Resource gain efficiency. Free repair. All right, we'll go resource gain efficiency. Free up a little of our commercial factories. An all-expense paid holiday to the Gulag Mines. The Canadian people's most loyal commissioner. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did want to... can you rename... No, you can't. We did have a... We can rename units. But that's about it. I thought maybe you could rename commanders. These poor people's militia are going to get steamrolled by these robots. It's going to be brutal. I should have been training way more people way earlier than this. Basic weaponry. Yeah, we're going to run out of everything. That's okay. It wouldn't hurt. It's not going to hurt us to have more troops going right now. We got 116 days until the war. I'm probably going to say create one of all these people militia. Because I don't want that many militia units. They're not very good. But if I can have them hold this line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll be enough. What horror! Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on here. Someone set off an ancient nuclear weapon up north near one of our rehabilitation camps, killing hundreds. Who could be so monstrous? The American bandits? Lloyd, eager to crush the masses? Or some other malevolent factor? Amy Therese is certain it's the fault of Solomon, but others wonder could she have set it off to purge the commune of dissidents? And if not them, then who? Amy Therese plans to go north to investigate, but paranoia lingers. If she flees, will counter-revolutionaries plot in the capital? Others point out the camp contains some of the greatest foes, people who criticized Big Sister and her rule of the commune. Surely she wouldn't nuke her own people. Perhaps Amy is doing a bad job, or Big Sister will get to the bottom of this. I guess Big Sister will get to the bottom of this. And then we've also got our government-issued compliance. The question of how to rebuild our fallen state falls upon the shoulders of the great chairwoman. The halls of Redmond's governing apparatus are filled with applause as Big Sister hands down a new draft constitution full of curfews, quotas, and budgets for re-education centers. Smiles are plastered on and hands are shaked. Those who let the facade slip or don't shake vigorously enough will be found in the alleyways in the coming weeks. The goal is simple. Keep smiling and keep breathing. While the bureaucrats try to avoid the eyes of Big Sister, there are those who whisper behind every corner. Redmond is a city of secrets and hush rumors. Colonel Tao is renowned throughout the commune for her battle against the American occupiers to the south. Just don't ask how successful the battle was. The colonel has seen the cracks in the administration. The farmers, providers of the commune have started to change their loyalty. She promised support for the farmers when she seized the chair, but now all she does is trample on them. The colonel has started to plot her own political career. It's not only the farmers or high-up officers that question the iron fist of the chairwoman. Her own party has started to ask questions. They wonder who she truly aligns with. The clique seems to be a beast on its own, with the party trying to fight its way in. The times of reunification are coming to pass once more. Who will sit in Redmond? The roses continue to grow. So we can pick up civilian workshops and infrastructure, or political power and base war support. I mean, I can't turn down free civilian workshops. Love the mines for the state. Need to take Red Deer. I'm only 45 minutes away from there. Oh, don't worry. We will. Where is Red Deer? Oh, yeah. We're 100% going to take Red Deer. We're going to take all this land. The Pioneer Company, Lloyd's Ministry, and Big Grass are the first three people we have to conquer, so... I keep trying to get into Hoy, but it's so complicated, I get lost and quit. Valdez, that's exactly why I started playing the Old World Blues. It's much, much more simplified. It's easier to get into. It's more straightforward. It's not as complex, but it still is a complex system, obviously. But I would highly recommend it if you struggled in the early phases. Do I want to say change our recruitment laws? Oh, I can't. Estimated enemy strength ratio of 30% or more compared to our army. We're muzzling dissidents. Slavery is outlawed. Chems are banned. See how we feel about that. Oh, I would love to change this from wasteland economy to a well-equipped army. This will actually give us a 40% increased construction speed for military factories. It drops our trade income a little bit, but the price is super, super worth it. We can only do it if we have more than 50% war support. I'm going to do this actually right now, because this will help us get these factories online in North Redmond. On Thursday, May 20th, residents of central Alberta awoke to see the sight that has not been seen in Canada for generations. Even from a safe distance, it was unmistakable, a mushroom cloud. For some time, just before sunrise, a nuclear bomb lying dormant in the silo suddenly detonated without warning inside the nation of Strath Commune near one of its many dissident camps. In the panic that ensued, accusations were flung left and right as to the cause of this disaster. The Strath Commune alleging it to be an attack from foreign powers who infiltrated the site. The culprit behind the detonation is unclear, but Amy appears to be holding the people of Lloyd's Ministry responsible for the explosion. An accusation within the ministry responded to the outrage. The lands once belonging to the Canadians People Front look almost inevitably poised for conflict once more as the two socialist powers look to strike one another down. The wreckers will be driven from Canadian soil. The wreckers. Preliminary results of the investigations are clear. The atomic bomb was set off by Lloyd Minister. Let's demand an investigation. If Solomon is innocent, he will gladly let us interrogate her officials and try them in the People's Court. But to the chairwoman, this is the first step. The grave atrocity up north shows that the splinters, the counter-revolutionaries, and wreckers cannot be trusted. In pursuit of vengeance, war penalty stability modifier plus 10. We get an attack bonus against Lloyd Ministry and a defense bonus against them as well. Oh, well.
Hello, sir.
All the more reason. We're going to add these groups to the reserves. They're going to fill out the line over there. Comrade Darius Grave, 1st Elite Militia. Was there a rename? I can absolutely... I mean, we have our Revolutionary Vanguard. Yeah, we can rename these guys. I will take renames for sure. If you want to be Elite Special Forces. Okay, how is that People's Militia still cooking? All these new guys need to be trained. How could the insert enemy name do this to us? It's truly a crime. Solomon was willing to concede to our demands, although initially Lloyd's leaders were reluctant to confess to their crimes. After sufficient time with the People's Commissariat for Eternal Affairs, we'd made many of them confess. A great victory for the people. But of course, the confessions only show their culpability. We will crush Lloyd Minister once and all and make Canada safe. Add 50 days to the mission of the long march forward. Now, when you say 50 days, do you mean 50 days forward or 50 days backwards? 50 days forward. How do I go to war with you? Do I need to justify? I was under the impression that I would just unlock war. Centralizing, commissariat, cult of personality, big sister. Oh yeah, so I can't even get this until I've taken over all of Lloyd's Ministry, Pioneer Company, and Big Grass. So I think I just have to wait for the event to trigger. For the war to break out. It does give me a little bit of time to prep for it, though.
What's up?
Which is great. Because currently all of our militia are not very well trained. And if we can train them up, they'll get an extra 25% to combat bonuses. Lot of robots. Lot of robots. These guys still haven't filled this gap. I am wondering about like moving more units over there. If I crush them really quickly. We are recruiting 3 additional rifle companies. So I tell you what, any additional rifles, I'll move over here. Which I think can probably include this guy as well. And then we'll just have militia guarding against the death robots. Our scavengers were a bust. They didn't die, but they didn't find anything. We will send out some manual prospectors in the meantime. The tunes, so fantastic. Are they loud enough on all yours ends? I turned them down a bit because I thought they'd be a little too noisy. You can't hear any of the tunes? All right, there's some extra civvy workshops. I don't think we need to do this until we start building in those places. So we'll just keep going down this tree. The southern invaders, hailing from the now defunct capitalist state, once tried to defeat the Canadian People's Front and attempted to subjugate her people into a modernized version of feudalism. This was not a peaceful occupation, it was a war crime. Thousands died fighting the hordes of slaughterers, and we exist today thanks to their great sacrifice. Faint tunes in the background. Crank them up a little bit. Because it really is a banger soundtrack.
a decent meal in weeks.
Part of the problem is that I won't shut up talking over them, though. Acclimatization. Hot acclimatization. Oh. These guys have cold acclimatization. That's kind of neat. Why is it hot in this province? Very hot. 14 degrees, 21 degrees. It's 29 degrees in this province. What a weird hot pocket going on right here. Is this what the West Coast is like? I guess it is June. Our Canadians getting acclimatized to the cold, right? I wonder about just grabbing these guys and forming a very basic offensive line here. Not that they're going to be doing that anytime soon, but it does help give them some planning bonuses. Foundries, purification stations, power stations. I think we're already building some foundries. We'll get this multi-purpose equipment. You have units ready for deployment. Ah, my Revolutionary Vanguard. We can apply them right into there. These guys will get the reserves. These guys will get the rifle companies. Boy. We are running pretty low on infantry equipment, yeah. The day of infamy. Today, all who call themselves Canadians mourn the greatest tragedy of our history. The day that we considered our closest brothers betrayed us and stole our freedom. The American invasion of Canada over 200 years ago was a brutal and bloody affair that none were spared from. Today, we remember those who were taken from us by the atrocity of the invaders and remember our proud nation once set an example to the rest of the world. Oh, Canada, who was slain unjustly by the hand of tyrants, shall you ever rest in peace and in our memories. I'm going to give everybody lifetime pensions. So this is going to give us more experience gain, higher max training, allow us to have more special forces. It costs us a bit of extra in caps, but honestly, it's like not very much. At least not yet. Go back and tell them. We are starting to run low on manpower. We started with like 3.5k, and we're going to use a lot of manpower in this war. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set these guys to 2. This guy's making one more unit of Revolutionary Vanguards.
Hello.
We'll see how that goes. That's Communist Joe. So part of my issue here, I can't really buy guns, hey? That's really bad. Losing that contract is the worst possible thing that could have happened to us. We can buy more bicycles, which I'm gonna do. So we get a little more political power and war support. The war support does give us more manpower, basically, as well as attack and defense on core territory. which is all helpful. We're going to begin centralizing. This is going to take 300 manpower from us, but give us 3 off-map civ workshops. The commune must begin centralizing its government and economy into a singular large area to ease political actions and make further progress easier to achieve. While some disagree with the notion, calling it anti-Marxist, they will be silenced for their dissidence. Here, no slander against the People's Department of Temperature and Weather. The old weather adage, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. So true. All right, we have additional military factories now. They're going to be making guns. And we have a little extra political power to toss around as well.
Planning Canada's defense already. Quebec does not need guerrilla defense. France already has a nuclear deterrent.
Marinera, good to see you, dude. Thank you for 28 months at tier 3. Unreal. Much appreciated. We are, in fact, getting ready to defend Canada as much as we can.
A few days ago, I was talking with the director.
Hopefully it works.
And he told me some things that I feel everyone should know.
Recruitable population.
Did you know, for example, that your chances of surviving an atom bomb attack are...
This guy gives me daily political power, which is so valuable.
You must do everything possible now to help yourself and your family. Nobody else will help you. Listen, because this is...
Because that's how you unlock all those other things.
Aid kit handy. Keep a closed container of drinking water in your refrigerator. Enough for 3 days. Be sure you have a good fire extinguisher. Take a look around your house now and pick out the safest spot, away from windows and doors. Make sure that every member of your family understands he is to rush to that safe spot when
this guy is basically just gonna form a line here.
And I hope I can convince you.
Oops, that wasn't quite right.
Your family, yourself, and your community.
God, Grand Prairie is going to be a nightmare to take. To cross a river right here near the Robo-Brain complex. Lots of wars breaking out. Who did the Gateway declare war on? Iron Confederacy. Grand Prairie is a nightmare. Can't confirm. Kind of wish we would actually meet our defense spending quota. Just to get ready for the American invasion.
Hello.
What's this guy doing? He should be on that line.
Hey.
So should you.
What's up?
So should you and you.
Hello.
Try to train up all these rookies.
Hello.
So I think we have enough militia to hold this entire line now. We do actually with a little bit to spare. I have free civilian factories, which is fantastic. We're going to build more arms workshops. Yes, yeah, why not? We pick up woodworking and multi-machines. How are we on this stuff? 0.39. 1.39 for all of that. 3.9 on motorization. I think I mean, this stuff is still I guess we'll just pick up work camps and tribal huts. Make sure our industry is in a good place.
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
And I should also take these riflemen. And I'm just going to paint them a big ugly line. Sure. Again, this is just so they get a planning bonus. So that when I do decide to attack, we're in a position to actually do something. I am really worried about these tank squads. I don't know what's in them, if they're actually tanks or if they're just kind of who knows what. Guys on bicycles. That being said, these riflemen all have anti-tanks, as do these Vanguard. So I think we'll be okay. Our centralizing is complete. We get 3 more civilian workshops. Enemy gains the Commissar. Resistance targets an operative slots or the Cult of Personality, which gives us war support alongside some other stuff. Command power gain. I tell you what, we just got those extra civilian workshops. I'm going to create a spy agency. The Cabal. Sure. We'll give them this. Can I call them like Big Sister's Eyes? And then we'll give them that little eyeball. I feel like it's the right answer. So we'll get some spies started up as well. And then that's perfect. We'll have 15 workshops building, which is going to keep us nice and cruising in terms of arms workshops. To be honest, we'll probably keep going down that tree. I'll probably build some infrastructure in South Redmond next. That way things are a little bit cheaper to build. There's our improvised tools. All right, we got to start picking up some other weird stuff. Let's grab chems. We're a bit ahead on time, but
Civil defense is common sense. This is Pat Boone. In case of enemy attack, you must know.
It'd be nice to get that stuff out.
A steady blast of 3 to 5 minutes means tune your radio dial to 640 or 1240. A 3-minute wavering tone,
Just a posture better, I think.
series of short blasts.
Oh, for the GDP, yeah. Guys on bikes can be scary. You can ride without hands, hold a gun. Only saving grace is if they come from Saskatchewan. They're only used to riding on flat surfaces. Our hills will wear them out. I mean, I'll be honest. I think most of this is pretty flat terrain. There are some hills. That's worth noting. We probably don't want to cross here. We could take that hill very easy. Nobody's at it. And then Big Grass is mostly forest. It's plains on the lower half and then forest. Pioneer Company's all plains. But that's good. We definitely don't want to attack these tanks in the hills. That would not go over well for us.
Sir.
This guy had more points to get. Your squads only have anti-tank rifles, but they are all infantry. Man, it's really hard not to also just give you Mysterious Stranger. So I'm going to do it. Big Sister is watching. Early air power is really hard to do because the air power early on is all... Basically, they can complete one mission and then they explode. So they're gliders, but they get trashed after you use them once. So until you get access to motorized flight, you can't really start making good air units. I don't even know if we have... Oh, we do have a couple of airfields. So yeah, we'll probably get some of that cooking. What else are we a bit short on? I guess the fire teams could also use more. The scavengers found something. The ruins of an ancient factory, pre-war goods. Ooh, infantry equipment, and we got Robco Industries, which is not going to be useful for us. They are a pre-war design company. Honestly, I wasn't really planning on using robots. It does make them a little bit better. I mean, they're the only pre-war company we have, so... we could use something like robots to garrison. So once we take over countries, we do need to, like, keep people in them to make sure that everybody stays in line. Big iron on his hip. What a classic jam. All right, our agency is complete. We are recruiting operatives. We get 2 operatives early on, which is cool. Oh, I guess probably because of the commissariat we just got. The arm of the Soviet Union helping ease tension amongst its people by simply securing strife in its inner cities. We'll grab loyal followers next. Some may call it fierce loyalty, but people feel for the comrade army. A cult of personality, dissidents simply trying to hide the glorious accomplishments of the commune. We should begin to encourage these loyal followers by creating a morale wing dedicated purely to highlighting our people's accomplishments in the form of posters. All right, and then I tell you what, because I haven't really been taking advantage of the 5-year plan, which allows us to build civilian factories really fast. That's going to have to be the next thing we work on. I feel like we have a lot of arms factories right now. Okay, and I'm only recruiting rifle companies. We could put together some motorized companies, but I guess we're not making bicycles right now, nor are we making spec ops gears. Everybody is just infantry right now. Big Iron used to stop jam during New Vegas. It's such a classic, right? Doggo's really good for occupying units. Yeah, for the garrisons. Yep. Is there a campaign for HOW? If there was some kind of tutorial. No, you basically pick whatever country you want. And they all kind of have a campaign. Really, the campaign is determined by things like the focus tree. Because the focus tree sort of gives you pathways to say, like, completing certain things in the focus trees will give you war goals on a country next to you, for example. We have 28 days for the Long March. The Warden remnants want lower taxes. What do the Warden remnants offer us? Laser weapons. Yeah, I'll take that. We're going to need to build them up a lot if we want access to that kind of stuff. Weekly stability, research speed. We're doing like okay on stability right now. When we go to war, this is going to tank. We got to wait till then. Lots and lots of mods where you can simplify the world a little bit. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there isn't really much of a tutorial. It's a bit of a... Hearts of Iron is best learned by, like most Paradox game, learn via failure. You sort of want to play and lose and play and lose until you start to figure out, oh, okay, I have to do this. Oh, I have to do that. All right, let's get started on a little of that air technology. Like every time I've played a couple of campaigns and every time I lose, I learn something different about what I've been doing wrong. And I think that's a big part of it.
Hey.
Just want to clear up that all these guys have their levels.
Hey.
Yeah. Perfect. Love the pew-pews. So good. Chris Lauren, hello. Good morning. Really expensive to build and buy, but they're pretty good weapons. I mean, it's definitely going to be helpful if we can get them. God, I really want to expand our divisions. Can anyone go up there? Oh, I guess it doesn't matter because they can't. Yeah, that's impassable wasteland up there. I guess this place that they nuked is also an impassable wasteland now. We've picked up our first operative. I mean, I guess let's take this guy. He's a smooth talker and a heavyweight. I feel like let's have him. The Great Stampede is an ally? Is not an ally. Oh yeah, okay. I can build intel networks here. Right, I'm gonna be fighting the three of these guys soon, and I imagine the Great Stampede is who comes after. So if I start building intel in there now, we can start planning a bit more long-term with them. How many bottle caps do we have? 39,000. A cool thing in Old World Blues is all the agency upgrades just cost bottle caps. So I'm actually going to spend some bottle caps making a cryptography department so I can start breaking ciphers. 2E05 is 200,000, 2 million. I guess 2 to the exponent of 5, so 5 zeros. Big part of the fun of Paradox games is also when you win with a single faction, you haven't got it down for all possible factions. Yeah, there's like unique challenges for every single group that you want to play as, which is always super cool. All right, we got a bit of extra juice here. I guess I don't need to upgrade that because we're not using Wastelanders yet. We're not using Special Forces yet. I could recruit ghouls. We suffer less attrition and use less supply, but we recover slower. And we're less organized by like quite a bit. We could also just take this recruitable population factor, which honestly, probably the right idea. I'm down to less than 1,000 troops right now. Manpower. You guys are about to be finished. Yeah, okay. I'll keep these guys on continuous recruitment, but see how we feel about everybody else. Political power gain 20%, stability minus 15. That is a huge hit. $10 days left on the long march forward, which I think kicks off the Civil War. Stability minus 15. This had stability minus 5. I think what I'm actually going to do, you can hold 10 days of national focus. So if I wait 10 days for this decision to trigger, I can then put that all into that more military tree. and just give us a little kick up. Even with 300 plus hours, don't bother with navies beyond mass producing destroyers. Just have enough for superior. More helps more. I mean, that is one thing I really like about this mod, is that the navy is canoes. And basically nobody uses the navy. You can use it to travel down rivers. Some rivers. Some of the like American rivers. These ones, for example. But for the most part, you don't really need navies at all. And almost nobody builds them. I've done a little bit with Britain and Italy in trying to learn Hearts of Iron 4. And so certainly like Britain was a pretty big navy game.
What's up?
3 days left, 2 days left. I'm going to turn off training so that we are ready to attack the moment this kicks off.
What's up?
Probably should have stopped that a little bit earlier, but you know, what are you going to do? We honor the heroes who fought in the Great War, the people who fought for freedom and the people, but it's a shame, is it not, that some do not anymore? Let's end this charade and save Canada. Strath Commune declares war on Big Grass, Pioneer, and Lloyd's Ministry. Oh, we all declare war on each other. We add the struggle for Alberta, which grants organization loss when moving -20, entrenchment speed -50%. So if we lose any ground, it's going to be really hard to re-entrench. War support's increased, attack is increased, division defense is increased, reinforced planning speed, max planning, max entrenchment is decreased, and the encirclement penalty is increased. We can pick up the commune is calling, which we're already like a third into. Navies and Old World Blues are status symbols. I'm the weirdo who uses NATO symbols and enjoys building navies in regular Hawaii. I definitely learned to like it a lot when I was playing as England. But the problem with the navies is that even if you focus on them, it won't do you much good. Can't conquer anything with the navy. You really only need them if you cross oceans for invasions.
Hey there.
I think it's just that the computer is pretty stupid when it comes to navies, it seems. All right. Vanguards are starting.
Hey. Hello? Sir?
Is that a hill? I don't think so. Really doesn't want to tell me, though. There we go, plains. Okay, so it's only that tile that's hill.
Sir?
So we're going to start
Hey there.
a bit of an invasion here.
Sir?
As we kick it off, we are at war with everybody around us. I really hope we can hold. We have very low manpower starting this fight. And our chems are still researching as well. The war on 4 fronts. In a sudden escalation of tension, Strath Commune, high on war fervor following the nuclear detonation in their territory several months ago, has thrust the Canadian Plains into another large conflict. The army and her Amy's party outrage seems to have boiled over into full-blown revolutionary zeal, with the nation declaring war not only on Lloyd's Ministry, but also on the Pioneer Company, a pre-war merc army. Not only this, but strange robots are emerging from the old Relcom facility in Grand Prairie to take advantage of the chaos. Will this aggressive attack pay off for Strath Commune, or will it be a race to Redmond for all those who seek to take advantage of her recklessness? Ooh, okay. If we get a little bit of political power, we can focus on different groups, the worshippers, the capitalists, and the machines. That's going to be extremely useful for us right now. For 90 days. Okay, the good news is that we are actually winning all of those fights. The bad news is that we are losing all of these. So we're going to have to move quick.
Like that?
Which seems like it's probably not going to be an impossibility. That guy's losing a little bit against that tank.
Can't stand up to this, can you?
I'm thinking that we just kind of encircle these guys down here. There's no real reason to fight them unnecessarily. Unable to move along their path.
Flank them.
I want to stop that guy from moving.
Sir.
There we go.
Hey.
Have those guys pin him. Actually, let's go the other way there. Have them pin him and have this guy take the empty territory. Since those guys are slightly better fighters. Those guys are taking that and that. I'm pretty nervous about some of this right now. I could cross this river. But I'm a little worried that guy will just like move in. These are only militia, so I really shouldn't be trying to do anything stupid with them. Yeah, like I'm gonna lose territory here. I'm already losing some. We gotta take these guys out fast.
Light 'em up! Come on!
This needs to be a quick victory. If it's not, we're gonna be in mega trouble.
Hey. Sir.
There's so much to lose so quickly here.
Engaging.
I don't want you engaging across the river. I want you guys just continuing to move in this direction. Make your way towards their capital as fast as you can.
Sir.
Can you pin that other guy down so that he doesn't get to get me here? And if you go straight for Vermilion, I am wondering about like supply caps. Irma, Vermilion, Windermere. So if we can take some of these cities, we'll actually cut off their railway system. Or their road system, really. Love watching Hearts of Iron, and the guy I used to watch this gave up streaming. Okay. Navies are more useful in Old World Blues if you have access to enough rivers. The AA does not expect naval invasions. No. I can't imagine they do very well. This guy is just defending. What I would kind of low-key like... I'm just realizing if I pushed him there instead, I'd encircle these guys.
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
It would also work if I went there. So let's just get a little bit of encirclement going.
Hello, sir.
Where's this guy going? I guess.
What's up? Like that?
You're helping out him. You guys keep pushing in that way and that way. This has me really nervous. Like they're pushing through this way faster than I thought they would. I'm going to edit this front line to like the river. And have them relocate to help.
Hello?
Where are you going? Why are you going that way?
Hey.
He's going across the river, which I'm actually not in love with, but we're going to let him do it for now. I need to push straight to Lloydminster.
Hey. Hey.
You're going that way. You're going that way. Fine. I'm okay with this decision.
Hello?
I'm going to have this guy pin him so that he can't stop this dude.
What's up?
Somehow he is being attacked. I'm not really sure who he's fighting. Perhaps some sort of garrison. I'm going to rush this guy straight into Lloydminster at this point. My big mistake here was getting this guy to try and cross the river. It's taking him a ton of time to do this. The great news is that it does mean
Can't stand up to this, can you?
these guys are currently totally encircled.
Hello?
Which is going to be really helpful. This has me super nervous.
I'm gonna send you packing.
A bunch of our guys keep getting pinned over here and not being able to really move around. Robots aren't coming in at all, which is great. So, last stand command when things really go south if you have plenty of manpower and arms in reserve. I mean, I don't really have plenty. I have some. Let's have you go there and you go here.
Hey. Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
You're gonna go there.
Hey there.
I want to try and cut off these tanks as well. If we can get access to these tanks, it would be really helpful.
Hi, Dad. Want some help washing the car?
What? Well, sure.
At least we're getting Lloydminster.
Nothing, Pop.
Hey.
Mind if I put some civil defense stickers in here?
Stickers? What for?
Oh, see, Pop? Put them on the radio dial. At 640 and 1240. That's Conrad.
There's some backup coming in here.
That's your car in a civil defense emergency. It will help you move away from danger.
Okay, I'm gonna...
It's in good mechanical condition.
Okay, that guy broke instantly, which is great.
Battery in tip-top shape. And your gas tank more than half full.
Take this.
Mark your car radio
That guy's
at
toast. We'll ride them up to Paradise Hill.
Another sticker at the half-full mark will help
You're
remind
no
you
match
to
for
keep
us.
plenty of gasoline.
Maybe I could have him take Bonnie Bill.
steps to survival.
Come on.
This year, your family's here for civil
We're gonna take
defense.
Irma for the cap point.
Civil defense, an American tradition.
Man, if I can't get this captured quick. What are these? They're ghouls.
Damn.
I guess that explains a lot. I mean, as long as we keep them south of the river, I feel like we're okay. The CPF Civil War has begun. Hasn't the CPF Civil War begun? I would argue that it has. We're in a pretty big civil war right now. Or does this not count as the Civil War? Telling a Canadian they don't expect naval invasions by river, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure Cook leading the fleet up the St. Lawrence is a touchy subject. Yeah, so we don't need to just take Lloydminster. We need to take like X number of points. Victory points. If we knock it below 38%, it will capitulate.
Hey there. Suppressing fire.
A celebration. A couple in charge of the Stampede has announced the birth of their child, and the nation's been celebrating. The parties can be heard across the prairies, and the citizens joyfully give the news to anyone passing through. Joy, daughter of John of the Lockhart clan, and Amy Lee of the Sundell clan have come into the world, and most importantly, the most loving family of all, the Stampede. Okay. Ah, these damn ghouls. Kind of wondering about just like falling back to the river here. Oh, I'm actually winning against that ghoul. Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Hey there.
You're going for that. You're going for that. I guess we'll go there and there. There's not really like a lot of cities left here to take. I suppose pushing into the tank reserves would be valuable.
Hello, sir.
You're getting Paradise Hill. That'll probably win it for us.
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks. Hey there.
That's the cap on Irma.
Hello, sir.
Nice. Oh, amazing. Our scavengers succeeded again, and we actually found the Watts Company, which I think is energy weapons. Ooh. That's huge. Super, super, super valuable. Really love to see a game where you can strategically target the command chain with spec ops, like not needing a huge army and fight respawning armies, but also more difficulty pacifying the conquered lands. So this game has a lot to do with, I'll show it to you once we conquer these guys, but there's a resistance system and various things that do sort of majorly affect some success in different areas.
Hey.
Let's have you go here. You're gonna go here. Let's have you take Wainwright.
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
This bridge crossing is taking a bajillion years. Southern town last summer. Okay. We're holding okay.
Hello, sir.
They're sending them some guys across to support the other edges. I have both of their sets of tanks encircled, which is really, really good for us.
Hello, sir.
When do you get in here, dudes? 2 hours. Sorry, is that not Paradise Hill that I just captured?
Hey there. Sir.
Ah, Lloyd's Ministry has capitulated. We got 5 T-34s. We got a handful of basic weapons, some scrap trucks, some pretty basic stuff. We also picked up a cryptography department right now. So we're going to take all their territory. End of conversation. And now we can turn our entire army around. So all of these riflemen can go on this front line. Not that front line.
Hello, sir.
I tell you what, let's go from here over. And I'm going to send my vanguard. Red Deer is down there. All these guys are sort of being pulled back into this pocket. So I think I'm going to take the vanguard and I'm just going to put them right here. And I'm going to try to cut across to like here.
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
The riflemen will pretty much just push to Red Deer. Well, I guess let's do something like that. But my idea is I want the vanguard to encircle as much of their army as possible. For whatever reason, these robots still have not attacked me. And I am not going to ask any questions. Pew Pew is incoming if we survive the war. Sending volunteers is sort of like that, but it's getting assisting other countries without getting into the war. Yeah, you can help other people by sending them supplies, by sending them volunteers. There's a bunch of different options you could sort of do. But this is good. So I did say I'd talk about the rebellion mechanic a little bit. So under occupied territories, you can actually see here are all the zones that we've occupied. So we can do things like set up very specific types of militia to garrison them. These do not exist on the map. They're not like movable armies, but they do take up manpower and equipment depending on what the resistance levels are like in an area. So resistance will do damage to an area while also eventually causing it to do things like flip or rebel against you. And then compliance builds up over time, giving you different abilities, and then eventually allows you to core those nations and make them become your own. Unlike in Hearts of Iron coring is very, very difficult to do. In Fallout, it's constant. You're doing it all the time. We're probably going to go straight for Wasteland Pacification. Though I'm not entirely certain we have enough people to actually do this. But this will allow us to clamp down on any rebellion in this area as much as possible. No enemy cipher is being decrypted. We're going to decrypt the Great Stampede. It's going to take us over a year to do. But that's good. Also, we have another operative to recruit. A smooth talker, a linguist, and a mad bomber. Linguist is really good. Increased chance to acquire target nationality on completion of an operation. So I could have him do jobs in, say, the Great Stampede. Or elsewhere. I'm actually going to set him right now to root out resistance over yonder. That's probably the best spot for him to go. So he's just going to kind of start leveling up by dealing with any rebels in Lloydminster as well, helping out the groups. Wolfie, hello. Are we excited for Civ 7? Oh, so excited. I cannot wait. No, the liberated workers shall welcome us. Exactly. And the non-liberated workers will go straight to the gulag. Welcome to the Canadian Utopia. I think on that success on Lloydminster, we'll cut the video there as we deal with the Pioneer Company and Big Grass in the next video. So I hope you'll join us and tune back in. We're going to be doing a lot of Hearts of Iron Old World Blues in the next little bit. So I can't wait to show you some more. Until then, the game crashed.